When you think of last year, what kind of sticks out in your mind, good or bad?
Last year we had a really tight-knit group of seniors, and we had our first practice here today, and it was it's just a different feel. We have a lot of JV kids that came up. Our junior class has got 40 kids in it, so we're wading through that right now to see who's going to step up and actually play varsity as a junior. We lost those 17 seniors, and 7 of them started on defense and 7 of them started on offense. So it's just a whole new look out here, being in pads for the first day, or our shells for the first day, and just weighing and seeing what we got.
2 of the guys that you lost, big boys up front in the trenches. How do you feel about your ability to replace them? Because those are 2 big losses.
We've lost good guys every year I've been here, and Brian and Austin are just 2 more pieces of the puzzle that we have to replace. And there's guys that have gotten a lot bigger over the summer. They've committed to the weight room. They committed to their exercising and getting in shape. And we're going to be fine. We definitely, not only those 2, we missed that whole senior class. But that being said, we're not coming in here saying, hey, it's a rebuilding year for us. Because to me, rebuilding is an excuse for losing, and that's not what we're here. We're here to win and win every game, and try to teach these kids the game of football, and that's our job as coaches, is to guide them in that aspect.
To win every game, the key for this year's team is then what specifically?
Score 1 more point than the other team. Really, it's just focusing and being athletic. This is probably one of the more athletic teams we've had. We're really loaded in our skill positions: running backs, receivers, quarterbacks. We're bringing our line along right now, but the main thing is going to be is let these guys play the game of football with their athleticism, and that's going to be our job as coaches, to teach them the game where they're not thinking when they're playing. They get out and they just go play.
Yeah, that's what I was listening to you out there in practice, and you said, listen, just go out there and be athletes. Is that something that you're trying to pound into their head, the fact that they have this ability and that's what's going to help them win games?
And once the cobwebs clear and they realize that, hey, this game's simple. But right now, today was a really bad defensive practice for us. But we had a lot of guys thinking, like, I don't want to mess up on this blitz pickup, or do I have this guy or that guy, rather than being athletic. We could go in the basketball right now, and half our team will go dunk a basketball. I mean, that's kind of athletes they are. They can run, they can jump. We've got to do a better job of getting them ready to go play the game.
Tanner said it's going to start with the defense on this year, really, and that's kind of the strength of this team. Would you agree with that?
No. I think the strength's going to be better.
He said that's the key for them to play well.
Well, defense is always the key. Basically hold them to. Our goal is hold them under 21 points a game. For high school, that's a good goal to have. I think our offense is going to be pretty explosive this year, and then and I wasn't joking. We need to score more points than the other team, and that's simply the rule.
The explosiveness on offense. Yeah. 2 of those guys sitting over there starts with your boy Tanner. Mm-hmm. Where has he made his biggest strides coming into this year?
He once we took a lot of the trips to the schools, and basically everybody's telling him that he can't be a quarterback, he kind of took that, on his shoulders and said, you know what I want to say, he can play the spot. So he really worked on his footwork, his throwing, his mechanics, bulked up, got in the weight room, got faster. Really worked on his precision where he threw it. So I think that's the chip on his shoulder right now, that he wants to go out and prove that he can play at quarterback. And good conversation he has with Jonathan Smith at Oregon State. He's at Boise State now, and everybody told Jonathan he couldn't be a quarterback in the Pac-10. There's just no way. And then he comes in and proves everybody wrong and starts for the Oregon State team back in 2000 and leads them to a Fiesta Bowl. So just having that little piece of advice from him, when Jonathan was talking to him about Boise State, which he's not going to, but it really helped Tanner. In fact, just hey, if you want it, go get it. Don't let anybody else tell you can't play something, and that's been his biggest stride right now.
I asked him how important was it for him to get that commitment out of the way and go to Oregon State. From your perspective,
yeah.
How big was it?
It was he's a lot more relaxed right now. And I've seen it through a lot of kids that we've had that have been getting looked at by schools as they press to think they have to make a highlight film every game, every play has to be a big play of their life, and rather than just go play the game and let everything else take over. Now that the commitment's out of the way, I think it's just he can relax and go have fun. And when he starts having fun is when he's going to be the most dangerous. When he starts to press and try to force balls into certain spots and try to maybe break out of the pocket sooner than he needs to, that's kind of where he makes his bad plays. But now that he's, I think, more relaxed and knows where he's going to school and go out here and have fun and play, he'll be a lot more dangerous.
And another weapon that's going to help him be more dangerous is Drew over there. How excited are you for his addition to this program?
Oh, really excited. You know, we lost another receiver who lost his eligibility. Chase McFadden had to go. In fact, he went back to Hawaii for his senior year, and he was reinstated back there. And then Drew falls in our lap. But it's been great. They met at the Oregon State camp this year, and they started right away throwing the ball to each other, and really did a nice job at with the one-on-ones at the half-day camp.
Now, what makes Drew? Tanner said, I was like, a lot of people know Tanner's name. Mm-hmm. Who are they going to get to know? And he said, Drew. What makes him so? I mean, obviously his athletic ability. What makes him so unique and special?
I'd probably say his quickness. We haven't timed him in the 40. My guess he's running a low 4.5 40. He has excellent hands. He can jump out of the building, and just really worked on running better routes this summer. He and Tanner and a number of our other players, Corey, Caleb, a lot of went out and ran routes every day. They ran routes in the summer, which this team hasn't done in a long time. Usually the kids are playing baseball and doing summer sports, but there's a group of 5 or 6 kids that threw the ball every single night, and that's really helped Drew. He was a quarterback in Hawaii, and came out here and wanted to play receiver. So when he started hooking up the other kids and learning what we were doing in our system, he just really thrived in it.
Something that Jacob mentioned this year that is unique or makes this team special is the chemistry. And he said not a knock on past teams, but it seems like this team, and maybe that speaks to a little bit to what you were just mentioning. How they're out here working together. Drew and Tanner working together in the camps. Have you noticed maybe a better chemistry?
Yeah, and we've had really tight classes. I mean, the 2010 football team. Our state semi team was a really tight group. Last year's team was a really tight group. This group, I wouldn't say they're tight as far as they hang out and they're friends and they're playing video games at each other's houses and goofing around. But when they step on the field, the chemistry is just there. There's not a lot of nitpicking. There's not a lot of guys trying to coach other guys and letting us coach the kids, and no bickering in the huddle, like we've had in the past. But they're just getting along. This 8th grade. This senior group won the 8th grade championship in Pop Warner, clear back in, God, I know when it was, 07. So, I mean, they've won together, they get it. And when they were freshmen, they only lost one game, and that's the game we pulled Tanner out and actually played him at varsity. It was the only game they lost as freshmen. They had a successful JV team. So, it's a good senior class.
Last one for you. When you look at Mid-Willamette this year, what sticks out to you? What makes it, maybe such a tough league? And where do you feel like you guys fit in?
I'd say we're right up there at the top of the league like we were last year. It just depends how we show up at the 2 big games, which are going to be West and Silverton again. We have West at home and Silverton on the road. Stay healthy is one of the big keys, and really just pay attention to detail on the little things. And like I said earlier, let our guys be athletes and we'll be fine.